It's a Godwinson Live. News alert. It's the one you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. We're going scorched earth at no half measures, quite frankly. On this blue-haired cunt. You might be wondering, why such ire? Why such venom? Why such vitriol? For the subject in question. Well, by the end of this, you'll know exactly where we're coming from. You'll understand the anger. You'll understand the pain. You'll understand that when we strike with the sword of vengeance, we strike with the sword of righteousness, and ultimately, we strike with the sword of justice. Hua! Cha-cha-cha-cha! So, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself strapped in. It's going to be a wild one. We've waited until the release of Tears of the Kingdom for the Arlo rant. And here we are. We'll cover everything and more. I can scarcely believe that there's such a mountain of content to cover based around a blue puppet. But there we go. It's a long time coming, Arlo. A hell of a long time. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go into this and we'll just see where we end up. So, I have this lined up. Let's begin. This advert plays. But yeah, Arlo. If you don't know, you should know. Arlo makes a living by praising every Nintendo game that comes out as a magnum opus masterpiece of our times. On the odd occasion, he doesn't say that. He says it's a superb masterpiece of our times. And because of that, he's acquired an A-log community that want to drink his blood. Because he gave 4.5 stars instead of the full 5. Nintendo reviewers, especially the ones that aim themselves primarily around the AAA releases and what's coming next, and their hype and their anticipation for the Switch in whatever variant it may come, are, say it with me, cancer. Absolute fucking cancer. And there's none worse, maybe RGT85, but there's none really worse than Arlo. Is there, folks? So we're going to get into this. It's his reaction to the Pikmin 4 announcement. I have never seen such a pathetic display. We'll get into who the puppet is, the puppet's master, and who he really is behind the hand. It's Arlo, look. It's just a puppet. It's just a little puppet reviewing Nintendo games. Look at his reaction to Pikmin 4 being unveiled. He's got tears in his eyes, folks. It's Pikmin 4. News alert. No one gives a fuck about Pikmin 4. But Arlo's going to heaven. He's rising up. He's going to St. Peter. That was his reaction. He drew it. Pikmin 4, a mobile game. Listen to him. It's his voice. He's orgasming over Pikmin 4, folks. And what I want to do with this one is let you in behind the mind of a man who'd orgasm come bucket over Pikmin 4, because that's a mindset that I wish to understand on this one. How is such a thing possible? It's the cautionary tale of Arlo. So,
this video was brought to you by...
Look, it's Arlo's amazed reaction. We'll go to his channel. So this is Arlo, right? Mr. Arlo. As you can see, he's quite a substantial amount of subscribers, but still, those subscribers pale in comparison to Cecil McTruon's. It's tough. My stomach, he says.
What? What are you talking about? What?
What animated reactions? But we'll go into this one just to begin with, after this advert that I can't skip.
As a hobby. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. And Indeed CV helps you personalise your job search.
Do you hear that, Neats?
It helps the right job.
Off you go. You can be as successful as her.
From time.
As you can see, I want to demonstrate how vociferously he laces all of his videos with as many adverts as he possibly can.
But hidden deep in the world.
I found it scary. Hello, my Pikachu-loving,
It's Arlo.
ball-throwing friends.
A puppet.
I'm Arlo, and today I'm here to finally review Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Innocent puppet.
Which, as I do in all of my Pokemon reviews,
Reviewing
I will be
Pokemon.
referring to as one game because it's easier and because it is one game. To say that Scarlet and Violet is divisive is an understatement. Reception to Sword and Shield
Divisive?
felt a lot more negative.
It's a
overall.
kid's game.
Legends
It's
Arceus
only
felt
divisive,
more on the
Arlo,
positive side.
because you're a grown-ass man in his mid-50s,
Rather than outright hate
attempting
it,
to hold
Scarlet and Violet,
Pokemon
wow,
games,
you got
the games
loads
of the
of
province
people
of
who had a
children,
blast with it,
in a higher
also
standard.
loads
You know what?
who feel it is a
Would it be beyond Arlo to buy a PS5? Would it be beyond Arlo to look outside of Nintendo?
Appalled me on multiple levels.
But look, it's a high,
Diamond
you know.
and Shining Pearl were even worse. They felt so far below.
What are you
the
doing?
standard
What are you
of
doing
quality
playing
that was
these
just
games past the age of
embarrassing.
12,
I
huh?
thought it was lazy, cynical, cash-grabby junk. And
Just as I think you are, Arlo. Lazy, cynical, cash-grabbing junk. And none of that is more better illustrated than this. It's his amazed and overwhelmed early impressions of Tears of the Kingdom. It's the new Breath of the Wild game. Okay? It's the new Breath of the Wild game. And instantly, 0.00 seconds in, this video was brought to you by Magic Spoon. Now, this is actually what prompted me to make this, because this genuinely made me as angry as I was frothing at the mouth. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But this is like there's grifting, there's NordVPN, Raid Shadow Legends grifting. This is infinite tiers above that. This makes Toad McJudas look like a man of charity. A man who does it for free. Toad McJudas, by the way, a man who laced a 14-minute Raid Shadow Legends advert inside his Chris Hansen documentary. This is something that I've never ever seen. But you better believe Arlo's mastered the dark art of the grift. Now, this stuns me. And I hope it will stun you as well.
Magic Spoon. This is me, taking a break from producing video game-related internet content to enjoy a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon cereal.
This is fucking
I
shameless.
find myself reaching for Magic Spoon as a midday snack. It's packed with protein, 13 to 14 grams per serving. It's totally grain-free and has no artificial colors.
It's totally grain-free. Eat your grain-free cereal. And as you can see, it's a box of nothing. It's a box of nothing. I am appalled. It's a box of nothing. It's grain-free cereal. And dare to explain this? It's not even, it's air. It's air, folks. The man is grifting oxygen, literally.
Sweeteners, which is great. Most importantly, though, it's got 0 grams.
The bowl is empty. The bowl is empty. You might be wondering, why is this at the beginning of a review for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Why is a blue puppet grifting me this shit? Why is this even a thing that's happening? Well, let me introduce you to current year Nintendo reviewers on the internet, folks. We used to have the golden days of the AVGN and Doug Walker, you know, those glory days. Armic21 in the Game Dude. And now we got Arlo, true bearer of the torch.
Sugar and only 4 to 5 net grams of
He's eating nothing. Look.
carbs per serving. I've been trying to watch my blood sugar recently.
Yeah, I'm sure your blood sugar's going to be A-okay because you're literally eating a spoon of I mean...
For sweeteners, which is great. Most importantly, though, it's got 0 grams of sugar and only 4...
Look at this. Look.
Which is great.
Look, watch him go.
Importantly, though, it's got 0 grams of sugar and only 4 to 5 net grams.
There's nothing on the
per
spoon.
serving. I've been trying to watch my blood sugar.
There's nothing in his
recently,
mouth.
Which means cutting back on my carbs. And I can't even tell you how thankful I am to have such a tasty cereal that I feel good eating. If you want to try out a variety pack of Magic Spoon, hit the link down in the description.
This is genuinely the most appalling grifting I've ever seen.
And you'll get $5 off your order. Actually,
And do you know why it's appalling? Because Arlo markets himself clearly at a younger audience, where they're going to be eating the grain-free cereal. And he does it with such aplomb, with such shamelessness. He wants the kids to go out, steal their mom's credit cards and buy Magic Spoon empty boxes that he can line his pockets with. I have never seen anything this bad, truly. This is next level
you can just
grifting.
scan this QR code. They made it easy for you. Every purchase comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. Thanks again to Magic Spoon. Now, on with the video. Flubaloop, my friends.
And we'll just play that again.
Magic Spoon. Now, on with the video. Flubaloop.
Flub loop.
Thanks again to Magic Spoon. Now, on with the video. Flubaloop.
Flob loop. Flob loop, folks. How innocent and carefree and naive Arlo is. When we've just seen an insight into the great man's evil, haven't we? Only an evil fuck would do what we've just seen. But we'll begin.
My friends, it has been a long wait. But it's finally happened. Nintendo did a Zelda. They gave us the Tears of the Kingdom. I've played it. I played it a pretty okay amount, did the whole opening area, got to the surface.
What a fascinating game, by the way. It takes Link 5 minutes from jump from one place to the other. You get to watch Link skydive for 5 minutes as the open world reloads. What an amazing game. Now, you know what, Arlo? Had you have... Now, you know what, Arlo? Everything's got an advert, but you'll have to bear with. There we go. And now you know what, Arlo? Had you have enjoyed anything else beyond Zelda Tears of the Kingdom ad infinitum, you'd have realised that the world has moved on. We've had our Elden Rings, we've had our Red Dead 2s. Every single game has been fairly open world, let's be honest. And they've all far surpassed the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But if you're an Nintendo cuck, you've literally been sat there for 7 years with your Switch Lite in your hands, waiting, when will they give us this? And when they did release it, they decided to slap an extra $20 onto it to make a complete mockery out of you and them. But you've waited for so long, and this game is so amazing. You get to watch Link skydive for 5 minutes whilst the rest of the map loads. What an amazing triumph of the new age. The Carolean Age's accomplishments have already come. We're only like a week in. But here he is, my reaction. My mazed, My amazed and overwhelmed early impressions.
Pretty good amount of stuff past that too. So this is an early serious impressions of the game. Wouldn't be surprised if by now I've played like 15 hours or something. But you know, it's a big Zelda game, so that's like nothing. That's like a drop in the bucket. And now I'm here to talk about it. The very
Look at these amazing graphics, by the way. Look at these amazing graphics, those 480p graphics. Look at this amazing frame rate that keeps dipping every time he walks past a tree. He just got bodied by an emu. Look at this. Just got bodied by an emu. Fucking down on the ground, Arlo. I don't understand. Why is it always the case that these people that are solely dedicated to Nintendo and refuse to play anything else are just so shit at video games? It's appalling. Guy got bodied by an emu. In real time.
Very first thing I want to say, just like as kind of a general statement.
Arlo's like a 50-year-old man and has acquired zero video game skill purely because of his commitment to Nintendo. It is tough, quite truly, but look at these amazing draw distances. What amazing graphics, folks! You've waited 7 years for this shit. They've decided to sell it to you for $70 with a premium on top, and there you go. That's your reward. That is your reward. Look at these Dreamcast level graphics.
Thought this was already kind of obvious based on like the final pre-launch trailer, but now that like I've finally played the game, the whole idea.
What amazing graphics! We can literally see lumps in the distance.
Just a $70 DLC.
$70 DLC. He said it there. He said his honest opinions on that. So he says his honest opinion on that 2 minutes in, if you're watching at home, folks. 2 minutes in, he says his honest opinions. And those honest opinions are, this is a glorified $70 DLC. But he can't say that, or else he'll lose his Nintendo sponsorships. They won't send him the free games and the 3 OLED editions that they constantly release with reskins of Pokemon and Zeldas. So he has to reel back the rest of it in the remaining 15 minutes. But he gives you his real opinion on what it is. Straight up, no bullshit. But what you see subsequently is an exercise in the copious of copes. This is truly appalling.
Idea that it's just a $70 DLC.
Damn right, where's the lie?
It's beyond ridiculous at this point.
It's beyond ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous to call it a $70 DLC. Well, I call it truth. It's a $70 DLC, Arlo. You've wasted your money. Quite literally, you could have done anything with that money. Instead, you blew it. On a $70 DLC. Something you know to be true. Something that haunts you every time you look at the cartridge. You blew it all on a $70 DLC. I mean, bear in mind that this game now is sitting on a 96 rating on Metacritic. It's one of the highest rated video games of all time. This has come out in the space year 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Look at it. 2023. Why do any other video game developers even try? Why do CD Projekt even fucking try? Why do any of them even fucking try, folks? When this is winning all the game awards right now. But the map is bigger than ever, you cry. No, it's not. It ain't. There's no shrines underground. It's empty as it's ever been. And your sky islands that you try and sell me on. The sky islands I can count on one hand. And they're all shit. But you've got a mechanical bird. And look at him on a mechanical bird, folks. A mechanical bird for your $70 DLC. I'm amazed and overwhelmed, says the cartoon puppet.
Stuff to say things like that, like at this point, it's so upbeat. It's just a $70 DLC.
It is. It's a $70 DLC, Arlo. For real.
It's so objectively false. People who are still chiming in...
Objectively false? Well, I see no difference in
I don't
this.
want to be mean, but, like, you're embarrassing yourself.
You're embarrassing yourselves for stating the obvious truth. For not slurping the Nintendo pee.
This game is so vastly different.
It's so vastly different, folks, from Breath of the Wild. This game is so vastly different. Look, there's the towers that aren't in Breath of the Wild. It uses exactly the same map, Arlo.
It adds so much new just place to go on top of that, which we'll talk about in a bit. And then even the map...
Look at how the map is completely different. Look at how the map is completely different, and all the markers are completely different, and the shaker slate's complete. It's shit, Arlo.
Seen before, like...
It's literally a ribbon on a turd that they've decided to sell you
a lot of the time. There's so
for
much
$70
extra
bucks.
Stuff that, like, sure, when you view it from a wide angle and you see, like, the major landmarks, you're like...
When you view it from a wide angle and you see the major landmarks, you might be duped into thinking this is the same game. I've got news for you. If you view it with your own eyes, barely even awake, you might be mistaken for knowing it's the same game.
Yeah, this is like the Breath of the Wild Hyrule. Like, sure, that's it. Like, the similarities end there. I've been playing this game for so long now, and, like, almost everything has just been new.
Now, he says he's been playing the game for so long now, but at the beginning of his review, he says he's been playing the game for 15 hours. 15 hours, you can barely even form an opinion, especially on something like this, which is supposed to be a 300-hour game, eh?
I'm going, the things that I'm seeing, things I'm interacting with, it's like all been new to at least some degree, you know? So like.
It's all new. Look at how new this is. This could literally be a still from Breath of the Wild, and I'd have no fucking idea that it wasn't. I could literally have a gun to my head, and being asked, "Is this Breath of the Wild?" I'd be like, "Yeah, that's Breath of the Wild." And don't look at. Wait, this took 7 years to be released? 7 years of development time and delays? Really? It's not just DLC? No, it's not. It's a brand new game that they're selling you for $70 bucks. It's the greatest game of all time, by the way. Appalling.
So you've got your, like, Sky Islands and stuff, and there's a pretty good amount there. I mean, like, it's just like the Great Plateau. The opening area is one big...
So your Sky Island, you hear it there? The Great Plateau is the tutorial level of... The Great Plateau is the tutorial level of the first game. And what Arlo's just said there is the truth. What they've done with the Great Plateau, what they've made the first game's tutorial level into, they've turned them into the Sky Islands. So all your Sky Islands are the Great Plateau just divided up and put in the sky. So, it's literally like Nintendo have just gone, fuck you. Fuck you, you're gonna buy it anyway, and you're gonna suck it as well. And the Blue Puppet... Blue Puppet has no shame in trying to market this completely identical game as a completely new thing. Bear in mind, he started off trying to hawk some empty cereal boxes to us. So why are we surprised that there are no ethics in this video games journalism? Gamergate, was it all for naught? It seems so, because a Blue Puppet is now setting the agenda. Bring back Zoe Quinn. Bring back Queen Anita. All is forgiven. All is fucking forgiven.
Sky Island, and it's humongous, just huge. You can spend forever exploring it. But then even beyond that, they did the thing that we said would be cool. Over and over again. We were just like, you know what would be cool? Breath of the Wild, except caves. Just like you see a hole in the ground and you go into it and there's caves to explore.
It's completely different, guys. Now there's caves. Now there's caves. It's completely different. Buy it. Buy this shit game. Now there's caves, folks. Now there is caves.
Exact thing that we were saying we wanted. I was saying that I want. They just kind of did it. That exact thing, the exact way. Yeah, there it is. Caves. Just a bunch of caves all over the place. So that's a lot.
Oh, look, there's that stamina bar.
Yeah, there it is.
There's that stamina bar. You know, that completely different thing that wasn't in the first game. That stamina bar, by the way, is the bane of everyone's player's existence in that game. Every time you try and climb a rainy rock, you're slipping down it like a motherfucker. And look, there it is, completely different. Completely different. Do the weapons still break? Yes, they do. Of course they fucking do, because it's the exact same engine. Because they've learned nothing. And it genuinely should be derided as a rehash, a reskin. A complete cash grab. But when you've got puppets like this trying to hawk it at the kids with their magic spoon cereal, there are no greater evils in this world, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
that's a lot more. And then this is
Wait 30 seconds whilst the game reloads your character so you can continue walking. What an amazing game, folks. Truly stunning.
This is so big, I almost don't want to say it. But like, this is an early game spoilery. I'm gonna mention all of the things that are presented to the player early on in the game. You know what I mean? Like, you're not watching this unless you're playing the game. And you would find this if you were playing the game. You have to purposefully not. This, it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. One of the most pie-in-the-sky wishes that I think maybe anyone had for this game.
Look at these lava effects, by the way. Look at these effects. It's literally a GameCube game, if not worse. Look at it. How deep could it be? How deep could it be, folks? Well, because the texturing's completely shit, this literally looks flat. The lighting is so appalling, and the graphics are so piss poor, it literally looks as flat as a witch's tit.
Was the idea that it pulls a Skyrim and basically has like an entire underground that stretches across the map. Just like
It's an entire underground that stretches across the map that, again, it takes 5 minutes for Link to skydive into as the whole map renders and loads up. Beyond his wildest wishes, all the man wanted was an underground map that he had to skydive into for 5 minutes.
Hyrule beneath it. That's what Skyrim kind of did. Didn't seem possible.
Didn't seem possible. Didn't seem possible. Bear in mind, Skyrim is like half of my lifetime away. Skyrim came out like 15-something years ago. And Skyrim still murks this shit.
I am in awe.
He's in awe.
I'm still in
He's in awe of this, by the way. He's in awe of this. These are literally rocks and trees set against a black background. If you dare mention the word Elden Ring, and dare mention any of the features of... Some of the best parts of Elden Ring on its map are going underground and seeing like the temples and the deers and shit, and the mystical spiritual shit. They're amazing graphics if you play it on a good console. How does it even fucking compare? These are rocks and trees against a black backdrop. I mean, look at how well rendered these rocks are. How does it even compare? But we can't play Arlo refuses to even acknowledge Elden Ring, by the way, or any other MMO, open world like Red Dead 2. He'll only acknowledge them 10 years later when they're released on a Nintendo platform. That's the only way that Arlo will acknowledge third-party titles. And what he'll tell you is that, oh, look at this amazing new release. It's out now. I'm sorry, but Skyrim was out for like 11 years before it came to your piss-poor Switch. And it runs like garbage. The Witcher 3 had been out for a great league of a score of many, many years, Arlo, before it came to your shitty Switch. And it still runs like garbage. A brand new game coming to Nintendo at full price.
They did it. There's a giant, sprawling underground area.
Giant, sprawling underground area. A giant, sprawling underground area here. I'm amazed and overwhelmed. Amazed and overwhelmed.
Beneath Hyrule. And it's so much fun to explore, because even more than just being more space, it's also like super duper dark, and it's filled with nasty stuff.
You know why it's super duper dark, Arlo? Because Nintendo was unable to render a sky full of stars. So you get a literal black background.
To, like, light it
Empty
up yourself and
underground
find beacons and
map.
So you're
A
slowly
time
building
sink.
out your map by lighting up the area. It's incredible. And again, that's the whole, like, oh, this is DLC. It's just like, no.
So he keeps using the refrain, he keeps using the straw man of, it's a DLC. The truth of it's a DLC is constantly haunting him like a spectre. Like Hamlet's ghost or some shit.
It adds such a humongous amount to the game, even on top of all of the other changes that happen to the landscape. Because
look at how vast and open this world. Look at how amazing this world is. Literally a black expanse. The exploration is truly amazing. I've seen greater exploration underground in literal fucking Cave Story. Any Metroidvania has greater underground exploration than this shit. Look at it. It's a game set against black drapes.
Falling all over the place. So yeah, between all of this, everything is different. Everything is different.
Everything's so different, look.
Such an absurd degree. And of course, it's not just the places that you explore, but also just like the stuff that you do, all the different mechanics and your abilities. And
look at this. He's in awe and amazed of the fact he's been able to stack tables. Being able to stack tables. Arlo. You can do this in the real world, and I'm sure you won't be amazed and overawed. You've literally stacked tables outside. I mean, bro, can we not?
I can't even touch on all the different abilities because there's too much.
He's stacked tables.
I could easily, just based on what I've played, I could easily ramble about this game for hours. So like, I've really got to just kind of tighten it up a little bit.
Look at the mid. Every second of this video is laced with adverts. The man knows no fucking shame.
Points. Let's talk about weapon fusing. It is a lot less complicated than I think I was expecting. I know a lot of people had this. Oh, I'm just gonna tape a bunch of sticks together and that'll be my weapon. But like, no, you can really just like put one material on one weapon and that's it. But
what an amazing crafting system, folks! What a truly fucking outstanding crafting system. You can put one thing with another thing and that's your lot. Get fucked, peasant. One thing with another, that's your crafting system. That's your crafting system. You can put one piece of wood with another piece of wood and that's your lot. Don't ever dare be any way creative in any shape or form. You get one thing with another thing and that's the whole thing. Fusing a stick to a log, let's fucking go. I thought it would be a lot more complicated than it is. Instead, it's more disappointing than I actually even imagined it would be. But I'm still going to praise it as the greatest thing ever because it's a Nintendo first-party title. I don't want to lose my paycheck. What an evil, blue-eyed piece of shit.
And
there we go.
Relieved because of that. Because
he's relieved. He's relieved that he can just fuse a stick with a log and he doesn't have to do any sort of... He doesn't have to expend any sort of skill or competence as a video games player for 50 fucking years. No, he's amazed and relieved and overwhelmed that it's so... I mean, he uses the line beautifully simplistic. Beautifully simplistic. It's bare bones basic is what it is.
As overwhelming as I was kind of afraid that it would be, it's quite intuitive. It's not even a thing you necessarily have to do. It's just kind of if you want to, you can staple rocks and stuff to your sticks.
Staple rocks to your sticks.
It's incredibly fun. Between that and just being able to free throw objects and attach them to your
staple your rocks to your sticks.
It's everything. It's, I mean, just the amount of abilities that they have given to all these different materials, and they've added more materials.
Thank you, Shamu.
It's massive. It's humongous, and you have so many uses for all of these materials. It's incredible. And then, of course, Ultra Hand. Like, I've barely scratched the surface on this, you know, like...
Ultra Hand. He's barely scratched the surface on this. Ultra Hand allows him to pick up things he could have picked up with his hands. Like a sheet of wood. I mean... Bruh.
And then, of course, Ultra Hand. Like, I've barely scratched the surface on this. You know, like, early in the game, you're presented with some fairly basic puzzles, but, like, even those are so satisfying.
Satisfying. You know, how satisfying could that possibly have been? He put a piece of metal on a piece of wood. How satisfying. He's stapling rocks to sticks of wood.
I tried not not to watch too many trailers. So even just the idea of like, oh, it's like a rail. What is this? Oh, it's like it's a hook. Oh, so you put a hook and then
who'd have thought that hook was a hook, folks? What is he blind? Is he deaf and dumb? Is he Helen Keller, folks? Is he Helen Keller to not have realised that was a hook?
It's incredible. Yeah,
it's incredible.
There's like a few puzzles.
It's incredible.
I can already tell that just like it's. I'm stumbling over my words here.
He's stumbling over his words. He's so overwhelmed.
And I am so excited about the idea of using it more. And I know I'm never going to be like these people are inevitably going to be like making these really giant, crazy contraptions. Like I'm not smart enough to do too much with this. But even just what the game provides me, the little challenges that it provides me with, I'm so excited to see more. Even though I'm still kind of coming to grips with it. You know, I kind of like I forget.
He's coming to grips with it. He's having to go back to school to realise he can staple a rock to a stick. Fucking hell. But here he is.
That's so clever. And, you know,
it's so clever.
That Nintendo thing. When they have this idea and they come up with so many clever ways to use it, and this idea is
You know this amazingly clever idea of using some logs as a raft to go down a stream? Nintendo have invented that. They've just come up with this amazingly clever idea that's been in every fucking video game I've ever fucking played.
Oh, humongous, so deep.
Humongous and deep. Look at how big this river stab. Look at these water physics, by the way.
They're going to come up with ridiculous stuff, and I can't wait to see what else I see. And then just like new features, just things to do.
This is the ultimate puff piece, the ultimate shill piece for this shit game.
That kind of little activity, that's a thing. Like, going on...
So look, I mean, as you can see, they've clearly stolen that from the Hyrule Warriors game. That also came out like 6 years ago.
Monster raids with like other townspeople.
How much it slows down whenever there's anything more than one person on screen.
Go into a cave. Oh, look, that's a new kind of monster. Yeah, they've added so many new kinds of enemies.
What an amazingly new monster. It's a hand with an eye in it. Have my $70, Nintendo. It's a hand with an eye in it. Running at 5 FPS.
Variety department. They have added a lot. I obviously don't know for sure, but it feels at the moment like they've doubled it.
Liar.
In terms of smaller enemies. I'm still waiting to see if there are any like really big ones. You know, you had your Lionels and Hinoxes. I kind of wanted some more big ones. I know there's one I saw in the trailer, so I don't know how many that'll be, but like, yeah, for like basic enemies, so many new ones. And then speaking of the townsfolk thing,
damn right, eh? Damn right. If this piece of shit came to Xbox Game Pass, guarantee you no one would download it. They wouldn't even play it for free. But because it's released on a Nintendo console, because it's called Zelda, we have to have it shilled to us as the greatest video game of all time. We have to have it forced into our throats by a blue puppet trying to hawk empty boxes of cereal to us. And we have to acclaim it as the most amazing thing that's ever graced our civilization at that. Where is the lie? Where is the lie?
Okay, so this is great. I love this.
This is great. A barely even populated town. Dreamcast level graphics. Horses that don't even... I mean, compare the horses in this to the horses in Red Dead 2. Not even a comparison. Let's see now. Well, these amazing dialogue these villagers have. It's really great dialogue that weaves into everything. Just like Witcher 3, eh, folks? It's Nintendo does Witcher 3. Look at it. Let's see now. What an amazing bit of dialogue.
I know, if I had seen more pre-release material, I probably would have had a better idea. But I kept thinking this had to take place in some other time. You know, some other realm, Link Falls, it just felt that way. Everything seemed all caveman-y. But no, it's not. It's just that the upheaval happened, and all this stuff happened, and everything fell from the sky and opened up from below.
Look at this, by the way.
Upheaval.
He's supposed to be chopping this bit of wood, right? This NPC is supposed to be chopping this bit of wood. Every time he swings the axe into the bit of wood, Nintendo didn't even bother to render dynamics that would show the log splitting.
No.
Your $70
It's just
wasted.
that
Look,
the upheaval happened.
there's
and
no
all this
damage
stuff
to that
happened,
log.
Everything fell from the sky and opened up from below, and the world is so different that in all of that, you know, all those trailers, I assumed it had to be a different time, but it's not. It's the same time. It's like, you know, presumably a few years after the events of the first one, and everything is just kind of different. But I'm so happy.
Do you see how that magnified the text, by the way? So you've got a magnifying spyglass in this game. Look at how it magnifies the text.
And everything is just kind of different.
Look at how magnified that text is. That's in focus, by the way. That's in focus, ladies and gentlemen. Where does Arlo get off the fucking train, folks? Where does he open his eyes, wake up, smell the coffee, and go, oh fuck, I've wasted my life praising this shit? Because it's enabled them to just heap shit upon shit upon shit onto my lap, and I lap it up anyway, like a fool. People are saying PS2 texture. This is fucking Atari textures, bro. Bear in mind, he's used a magnifying glass to read the text. Can anyone even fucking make this out? Anyone? Speak up in the back row. Anyone at all? Atari 2600. Damn right. Look at this. Look at that picture of Zelda, by the way. That he's got with his magnifying glass. Examining the fine brush strokes of that. Folks.
So happy.
He's so happy.
Afraid it would be some pre-different, but I'm so happy.
He's so happy.
I was really afraid it would be some prehistoric time where the world was still really desolate, but it's not. This game is giving me like everything that I wanted from Breath of the Wild. I mean, it was nice to have like the serene, destroyed world kind of thing.
I guarantee you that if any of this was in anything else on a different console, Arlo would be calling it shit and praising Breath of the Wild for not having that. Like he did with every other fucking open world. I need to turn a light on, I'm in darkness. So I have literally entered darkness. So 1 second. Remember when Arlo was saying about every other open world game that was being released on every other console that wasn't a Nintendo one? That he prefers Breath of the Wild because it's so simplistic and so well done. It doesn't have any of these stupid Fortnite features like sticking a stick to a log, like sticking a rock to a log. Like stupid underworld open maps that have no content in them. If Nintendo had a magnifying glass in the game, you'd be able to read all their text because it's just great games design. Well, now it's here, and Arlo's just denying reality once more.
Where the world was still really desolate, but it's not. This game is giving me like everything that I wanted from Breath of the Wild. I mean, it was nice to have like the serene, destroyed world kind of thing, but now the people are playing such a more active part. There's so many more people.
The people are playing such an active part, like this guy that's just flailing his hands on the ground. Look at him flailing his hands on the ground. Look at this woman not even sweeping anything.
Playing such a more active part.
He's just literally just flailing his hands on the ground. Doing what exactly?
So many more people, so many places where people are, and they're attacking monsters, and they're doing research, and
they're sleeping on a bed and not even breathing because Nintendo couldn't even be bothered to animate breathing physics.
They're actively rebuilding.
I mean, is he dead?
Hyrule.
Is he dead?
That's exactly what I wanted to see. That's exactly the kind
It's exactly
of
what he
I
wanted to see.
Especially in a sequel, and because it's a sequel, and because it doesn't take place in the past or whatever, like all the same.
And what a creative character name, by the way. This character is called Nappin. Character's called Nappin. Nintendo's amazing writers strike again.
The kind of thing that I wanted to see, especially in a sequel, and because it's a sequel, and because
most games, right? Yeah, sure. They don't have everything I'm saying. But most games aren't being rated as the greatest video game of all time by all of these sellout fucks. Tears of the Kingdom is literally being hailed as the greatest video game of all time. It's almost right at the top of every fucking video games aggregator ever. Why is this? Oh, it's because it's been released on a Nintendo console. and it's called Zelda. This one Game Pass, no one would fucking pay it.
Like, all the same characters are here. We get to see what they got up to. And it's these ways that, again, this feels like a sequel, not a DLC. It couldn't be a DLC. And in terms of...
I'm pretty sure it fucking could be a DLC. Pretty certain it's using the exact same map, Arlo. It's using the exact same map. It's keeping the exact same game engine. It's keeping all of the weapons durability. It's keeping your fucking shitty stamina bar. It has changed nothing from the original. It's got everything from the original. It is a DLC. It has not radically reinvented the wheel whatsoever. Majora's Mask did more to fucking reinvent Ocarina of Time's game engine than this.
And just the story and the characters.
Damn fucking right. Someone finally said it. You know what this is? It's an asset flip, ladies and gentlemen. Literally an asset flip. This is something Jim Sterling would have balked at when he was a man. And not praised as the greatest thing ever. Jim Sterling, remember? When he hadn't crooned out, he was the only one that had the balls to give Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10. What a righteous fucking trooper. The only one to give it a 7 out of 10, and for that he was depersoned. For that he had his escapist license taken from him. Nintendo copyright flagged everything the man had to such a degree that he had to troon out to try and get it back. And now he's praising this pile of shit as the greatest thing of all time. Why is it okay to say, fuck Konami, Triple A, and not for this shit? Why is it one standard for one and one for another, folks? Why must it always be this? It's an asset flip.
And everything literally could not be DLC. This is a sequel. This is a direct sequel. And as a direct sequel...
You know what direct sequels are usually called in today's day and age? Especially when they're as paltry and piss poor as this. You know what they're called? They're called DLC, Arlo. DLC. And you don't have to pay $70 for the DLC either. I mean, we'll round out this hour with Arlo. So here is Arlo in all his glory. After this advert.
To say no to your friends?
Yes.
Look at this.
I'm a generous person.
You can think of
What the
alternatives
fuck,
out there and
folks?
say, I'm not doing this tonight because I really have to tighten up with my finances. But what about you come to my house instead?
Every advert has at least 3 banner roll adverts beginning. Every video has at least 3 banner roll adverts before we can begin.
All right, you screwball. Do you feel that? It's a change in the air. This feeling, it's what's left after a tremendous tension has been released. When a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You see, we recently hit the 4-year anniversary of Metroid Prime 4 restarting development.
No one gives a fuck. Quite literally, no one cares, Arlo. But, here we go. Which one is it? Because Arlo... now, people say that they've never... Arlo's just a puppet. Just an innocent puppet. And that's what the grifter behind the puppet uses as a mask to get away with what he does. The shameless shilling for Nintendo. Selling empty cereal boxes to kids. Getting them to raid their mum's credit cards like Teddy Feezer does. The great evil of Arlo is that he's a coward that hides behind a blue puppet. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is reveal the man behind the mask. Rod Hull style. It's a never-ending story of this grifting piece of shit. So, if you don't know, you should know. This is Arlo. It's a leak of Arlo.
What's up?
Hey, all right, not sure.
of chill. It's like, I do this, I do that, and guys just... Now, you might have just realised in those brief few seconds that the man can only communicate and show his personality through this puppet. Because behind it is an overgrown man-child autist. This is like, literally, it's Gator if he fucking found the Cookie Monster. It's a Sesame Street walker, folks.
I want to talk to you a little bit more after this. What's up?
What's going on? Hey, all right, I'm not sure. There.
That's a secret answer.
It's all right. No, but I noticed you really took a more just kind of chill. It's like, I do this, I do that, and guys just go with the flow. Like, where is your true passion? Is it really with games, or is like that what you found like riches, or like?
That's a big question.
I know it's a very large question.
I am passionate about what I do, but I also I've always had a lot of creative hobbies.
Look at his cold, dead eyes. Because he knows all he's been doing is selling a lie. That is a haunted man. He's been selling the lie that Nintendo and every single first-party AAA game that they release is golden, is a magnum opus, a blessing for our civilization. And he's been pressed by the baked Alaska of the Nintendo community. And he knows he's fucked up. Even the puppet is recoiling in horror. He knows it's $70 DLC. He knows it's shit. He knows it's an asset flip. But he's still going to sell the empty boxes of cereal to the kids anyway.
I feel like there's a lot of them I also want to do, and so I'm in kind of like this place where like I have one thing that's working super well, but it leaves no time for anything else. Like I want to be writing books. I wish I was making music. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard, and I also like I want to make games too. You know, I don't want to just talk about it. So I don't know. Scattered all
You hear his hobbies? They're the hobbies of a child, of like a whippersnapper with dreams in his head. I want to make music. I want to sing songs. I want to write books and make video games. But I'm tethered to this puppet and shilling for Nintendo until I die. He's got stunted life goals, because that's where his life stopped, essentially. Once he started taking Mario's money, he stopped washing, he stopped shaving, he stopped looking after himself. I mean, this puppet's more well-groomed than he is. He has many passions. He's not just all about Nintendo. Believe me, please. The puppet don't believe him. He sold his soul to Nintendo. And all he has really is this. I mean, he sold it from Sesame Street, folks. He's trying to make out that he's a creative genius. With all of a Renaissance man. He's just being held back by having to review every single fucking Nintendo game that ever comes out. Well, this Renaissance man, this true pioneer of creativity, literally took a Sesame Street Cookie Monster and decided to review Nintendo games with it. How fucking creative, folks. It's Leonardo da Vinci 2023. Press him. Press the motherfucker. Talk about the cereal.
Sales, made a bunch of money, and then kind of got lost my soul, worked for a nonprofit, and now I'm unemployed.
The guy just said there, you've sold your soul. Do you think you've sold your soul to Nintendo? His eyes say yes. His eyes say I sold my soul. The puppet can't even address the question. This is brutal as fuck.
few do, it's like the intimate. It's like chocolate. It can bring us all together, or it use as a tool to drive us apart. Unfortunately, it seems we tend to go in one direction or the other. But all I know is
He's like an existential crisis. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
I think we can do better. And
Yeah, you tell him. The guy's saying, I think we can do better. Where's the lie? Yeah, I think we can do better, Arlo. The guy looks like he's 2 seconds away from shooting up a school. But he hides this under this.
times like this, where
I'm a jovial cartoon puppet.
you might never see before, this is behind the screen. It actually humanizes people. Being able to see face to face, person to person, puppet to puppet, and all that. It's plastic to plastic. Exactly. Yeah, it's really.
That was one of the most depressing interactions I've ever seen. Did you hear that? Person to person, puppet to puppet. And then he does this with his hands and goes plastic to plastic. Person to person, puppet to puppet, plastic to plastic, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Because the real reality, folks, and I'm going to lay it out on the fucking line here. I'm going to do it to this. The real reality of Arlo and that man that we're seeing there. Bear with me. This pays off. The real reality of Arlo and what we're seeing there. That's Shannon Gaines, 45-year-old man holding that puppet. And shilling out so shamelessly, it actually hurts. It actually is so cringeworthy, it hurts. The real reality of that the real reality of this is that when he dies, when he sheds his mortal coil and departs from this earth, you know what's going to be in the box with him? It's not going to be photos of his kids. It's not going to be mementos of his time here. This is following him all the way to the fucking grave, folks. He loved the puppet. He wanted... Yeah. Imagine being buried with this. Because that's the way it's going. That's the way it's going, folks. Imagine being buried with this. What a fate. It's going with him. All the way to the box. It's a man who sold his soul to the devil. Are you ready for this? You ready for this one? Because this is fucking wild. The guy goes to video game conventions, right? To see his fans. And what he's come to the realization of is that the fans aren't really there to see him or hear his thoughts and opinions. The fans are there purely to see the blue puppet from Sesame Street. They couldn't give two shits about him or what he has to say. They want him to be the blue puppet. Shilling for Nintendo. Selling them empty boxes of cereal. I can't think of a worser existence to bestow upon another man than this. You're living in the shadow of a puppet from Sesame Street. Are you ready? So here is Arlo at this packed convention where all of these fans have come out to see him. Look at this amazing panel, by the way. So there's someone, I think it's his video games editor. I think it's his editor for his videos. There's Arlo in the puppet that's been unceremoniously chucked on the table because he's got an ego and he thinks that people are there to see him. And there's the rest of the empty panel. Now, shall I reveal how many people turned out for this? For Arlo's panel? The Puppet Man's panel? Because it's so much more. It's so much more than the puppet in the Nintendo shilling. This is the panel. That's the audience that turned out to see the panel.
Hey guys, right there. Yeah.
How was that?
I count 3 people in the audience, in this bustling crowd. 3 people. 4 if we count the person that has to be there that clearly doesn't want to be there.
Amazing. I didn't even go, I should have.
I wasn't there.
I mean, of course, you're just the bodyguard. That's the real Arlo. Yeah, he's sleeping right now. I was stand-in.
You hear that? They want to speak to the real Arlo. And by the real Arlo, he gets it. He gets it because what he says is he's sleeping right now. This guy's got such a fucking ego on him that he thinks people are there to see him and not the puppet. Like, bro, they're demanding you show us the real Arlo. And by the real Arlo, they mean the inanimate object that's lying on the table with its mouth open. So put Arlo on your fucking hand and perform like a circus animal.
Brian, do your Arlo impression.
Which one? I so many.
The really good one.
You hear what they're doing? You've actually got members of this bustling crowd, 3 strong, doing the Arlo voice in an attempt to coerce the man to put it on his hand and start doing the Arlo voice. Start interacting with them as the puppet. Openly mocking him. And doing the Arlo voice better than he does. What a fucking ego, folks.
We were joking that, like, at first when they opened the doors, he would just be sitting there with him. And it was just like, how more?
So eventually he's pressed enough. This guy is pressed enough after taking 9-10 minutes of this shit. The guy is so fucking pressed that he literally has to respond to all of the questions as Arlo. Because no one gives a fuck about him. And look at how this guy's chirped up. Now the real fucking star of the show is here. If you've ever seen Louis Theroux's documentary with Rod Hull in Orville, it's literally Rod Hull in Orville with fucking Nintendo games in the mix.
In his fridge. I know. Also, I can't crash his fridge anymore. Yeah, in his fridge. I know food. Amnesia.
Hundreds of dollars a week, Arlo.
I'm a growing monster.
They're hanging on his every word. They're laughing at everything he's saying. But if he was saying it without the puppet, dead silence. You'd see fucking tumbleweeds roll by. Yeah, Keith Harris. Why do I get it wrong? Who the fuck's Rod Hull? Rod Hull is Emu. Sorry. Fuck. Rod Hull and Emu. Keith Harris and Orville. And they thought they were so much more. They thought they were more than the puppet as well.
That was one got Russell Wicks.
That was one of the funniest bits of that video. Oh, that was all the times you mentioned, like, that's where I spilled my drink, that's where I spilled my drink. I mean, you know, people are always just obsessed with food.
Yes.
you know, you usually don't actually laugh when you watch videos and say, oh, lol, or whatever. No, I actually laughed at most of these moments.
Well, thank you. We try.
Look at how they don't laugh when he doesn't do the puppet movements. When he talks normally with the fucking look of the fucking abyss in his eyes. It's the sound of fucking silence and Arlo's real face. There's nothing. The crowd is just fucking dead-faced. But when he does it with the puppet with the exact same words, they're fucking guffawing all over themselves, saying they're having the time of their lives.
We actually got some more coming out. It's been forever since we did a collab.
Yeah.
But now
Do it with the puppet. What? Give us the puppet. We don't care about you talking.
But we did it all like in one night. Really.
You are nothing to us. We only exist as...
Is there going to be an update to the Nintendo is Doomsday?
Yeah, bring it back.
That was the way that I was considering having, like, and I don't know. So when I get another, like, I have to get a new one built eventually, and I don't know, like, if it's going to look quite the same, but, like, that was the way that
Don't change the puppet. So you hear there, he's asked that question of, what happens when Arlo dies? You've had him for a while now. Do you ever have to repair Arlo? And he goes, eventually I'm going to have to get a new one. I'm going to have to, but I might vary it up. But they don't want it varied up. They don't want him to dodge the copyright strike, the DMCA from fucking Sesame Street. They want him asset flipping the Cookie Monster. They don't want this to come at them in a different hue or different eyes or wearing sunshades. They literally want it the same as it's always been. They don't want the trooned out Jim Sterling Arlo. They want it to be the same. But there he considers what life after Arlo. And this is like literally Hamlet holding Yorick's skull. To be or not to be, that is the question, isn't it? Are these the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, Arlo?
I was considering having, like, being like, I have a confession to make, you guys. I'm a puppet. The whole time. And then, yeah, then you...
How fucking... This is terrible, isn't it? The guy is like 12 minutes in. He's been talking for all of that. And every time he's put the fucking puppet on his hand, they've just been guffawing and laughing over themselves at the puppet. And then he fucking snaps. American History X style. And has to tell everyone that it's just a puppet. That's literally an inanimate object.
That was the way that I was considering.
This is fucking existential.
Being like, I have a confession to make, you guys. I'm a puppet. The whole time. And then, yeah, then you split them up and it's just the second Arlo. That's how you introduce the new Arlo puppet. I don't know if that actually happened, but also the logistics. It would require a lot of hands.
Actually, I was wondering, who does the second hand whenever you're like...
That's too good of a question for us to not do in the Q&A.
Who does the second hand? Give us your thoughts on all of these projects you've got. Man behind the Arlo puppet. Those songs you're writing. That video game you're making. That poetry you've got on the fucking back burner there. None of them asked that. It was literally, who does the second hand of the puppet? It couldn't happen to a nicer fucking person, could it? Because this is the real star of the show.
As evidence. No, not even really evidence. It's more like seeing a picture. It's a lot of little details that come together to paint a picture. Sometimes a game will go through years of preliminary work before
It's
active
fucking
development
Pikmin.
fully begins. A small team spitballing ideas, messing with and let the game come when it comes. Which, yes, has always been an option, but I'm sorry, my brain doesn't always work like that. So there you have it. That's what I think is going on with Metroid Prime 4. That's why I think we haven't seen anything despite waiting for so long. And the great thing about this theory, this June, if we end up getting a trailer and a release date and I'm proven wrong, then there you go. Game's coming soon. What luck? It's win-win. That's why it's always worth predicting delays. The game is delayed. Prediction correct.
What a fucking coat. But what I want to do in this segment is illustrate just how successful this puppet is, just how successful Arlo is. And I'm doing it to... Where is the fucking cue? I've lost my cue. Okay.
That redness.
I'm going to give you just a... I mean, Arlo might even be the most popular video games reviewer of Nintendo games on the internet. It really is a monkey's paw. This puppet, and I'm about to show you, this puppet has 662,000 subscribers and has pumped out 712 videos. Every single one of these videos gets almost 500,000. I mean, look at hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. And the puppet's front and centre of the thumbnail. What you don't see is his face in the thumbnail, because they're there purely for the puppet. It's a fucking curse. But what if we were to dip into an alternate timeline where the creator himself stood on his own 2 feet and wasn't hiding behind the puppet? What if we would jump into that timeline? How would we fare? Well, I'm across the timelines and I'ma show you. I'ma show you how that really fares. When the guy's not the puppet on his Jaggy Thermos channel, barely even 10,000 views. When he's showing his face in the thumbnails, and he's not the puppet, and he's saying the exact same shit anyway. And less subscribers than even I do. It's enough to make bright-eyed warriors, folks. So this was Arlo's attempt at being Arlo before he fucking watched Sesame Street. Are you ready?
Hey there, everyone. Jaggy here. What's the deal with all these Marvel movies? Have you
He's doing the exact same voice that the puppet does.
seen these? How many Marvel movies are they gonna make? I mean, there's like Hulk. There's
What a creative genius, by the way. He's just been telling us how he's a Renaissance man. Well, in this creative grift, before he fucking watched Sesame Street, he was literally using a Mario mustache.
Fantastic Four. Iron Man. They make a Marvel movie every second. What are they like 10 now? Jeez. Am I right? You can't even go to the movie theater without looking up and seeing, well, that there's a Marvel movie. That's what I'm talking about.
You can see the desperation in the man's eyes. The man was so desperate. And when he was so desperate and he was in the gutter and he was dying and he was reaching up, the devil came round with a contract. That devil was called Nintendo. That devil said, I can make you a star. But to be so, you'll have to become a puppet. We'll give you from a Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. And you can be a puppet. And literally all of the comments saying, look at this comment, this is fucking tough as fuck. I can't believe Arlo made this cool puppet of a human. That is fucking brutal. That is one of the most brutal things I've ever fucking read. Like, bro. It's the highest rated comment as well. Bro, This guy's humour is actually really funny. I bet he could be really entertaining if he transferred his energy in skits and commentaries about things like video games, maybe with some sort of puppet persona that he plays to give a personality a more iconic face. That would be cool. Jesus. No mercy. Why does this guy sound like he should be blue and fuzzy?
Need some help clearing it out?
Jackie here. I hear the question you were asking. You were asking, what month is it? And the answer to that question is November, which means No Shave November, or Movember if you're Latin. Never heard of No Shave November before? Well, here's the skinny, Vinny. Throughout the entire month of November, you don't shave. See, apparently, the bigger you can get your beard and the less you can shave, the more money you raise for cancer research. I don't really know how that works, but hey, that's science. Oh, and apparently, another way that you can raise a lot of money is by sharing all this on Facebook. Making it through the whole month can be tough, if you're lame. So I thought I would share these 5 tips on growing the biggest beard you've ever seen in your life. Seriously, these tips are so good, they're gonna give you a grandma beard. Assuming she didn't already. Number 1, always bring a beard comb with you wherever you go. Combing the beard is the key
Tough.
to keeping it happy. Number 2, always bring a second beard comb with you wherever you go, in case the first one is lost, broken, or taken by your grandma because you keep trying to comb her beard. Number 3, bring a beard brush with you wherever you go, in case your first and second beard combs aren't doing it for you. The beard can be a cruel and demanding master, so be prepared to meet its needs at every turn. What's that, beard? Then paraben-free apricot follicle revitalizer you shall have.
These are the eyes that are begging the devil to give him a contract to sell his soul. And he did it. You better believe he fucking did it. And this is current year, Arlo. You ready?
Alrighty, let's check the news for today.
He's saying the exact same shit. But because it's a puppet, it gets 107,000 views.
Dow Jones is up 2 points. Weather's gonna be 87, 10% chance of rain. And, oh, what's this about the Muppets?
This is the dance he was doing, literally at the cusp where 8 years ago. This was the cusp when he sold his fucking soul. This is when he knew he was going to go big and stuff like this. And what we saw previously was him at a convention as of like last month, completely dead-eyed because he knows that he's not long for the grave. And he knows that this isn't long for the grave either. But he was so jubilant, so fucking merry. When he sold his soul to the devil, this is what he was doing. He's going to be a grifter online, folks. He's going to be selling the Magic Spoon cereal. All he's got to do is just give every Nintendo game 5 stars out of 5. All he's got to do is just say Zelda is based. Surely every Zelda game that will ever be released will be just truly exceptional anyway, so it won't be a hard task. You won't have to be describing asset flips as completely different to the other games. Sold his soul to the devil. And now, That guy's not Arlo. He's just a puppet that Arlo's using while acting dead. This video is kinda like finding out Santa isn't real. Oh God, my little sister can never see this. She thinks Arlo is 100% real based on the Arlo Palooza video. Because if he was a puppet, everyone would be able to see. I love Arlo to death, I just want him back. Please hide your humanity. Become the puppet. I shouldn't have clicked this. Why is everyone saying that random guy is Arlo? Arlo is sleeping on the table. Arlo is dead? Having a face behind the puppet just make Arlo feel somehow more complete. See, reactions like this are why people are so afraid to do face reveals. Okay, I regret seeing this now. I officially now know that Arlo is not an actual living puppet. I'm sorely disappointed. A man who's literally living in the shadow of a blue puppet.